Hey, what's up, guys? Coming to you with another What's Next. This is on IBF middleweight champion, Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. He's my number 2 middleweight in the world right now. That's 160 pounds. Triple G was supposed to be he last fought in October, and he scored a hard-fought, close, controversial 12-round unanimous decision over Sergey Derevyanchenko as he captured the vacant IBF belt. Now, he walked away from that, but a lot of people thought he finally looked old. He's 30, I believe he's 37 now, and they really felt he looked old in that fight, and he got beat up, and he's kind of past it now. So, Triple G wants to prove different and was supposed to face off, make his mandatory against some undefeated unknown guy with 5 knockouts on his resume. So he's supposed to fight him next, and he's supposed to fight him in June, which I guess still is possible, but we don't know how that affects the Canelo fight. The two sides have they originally agreed to both having interim fights prior to possibly facing each other, and the likelihood was that they were going to face each other in September, when Canelo likes to fight on Mexican Independence Day. But that fight's up in the air right now because of the coronavirus pandemic. That Canelo's people are looking at just going, instead of taking an interim bout for themselves, they were supposed to face Billy Joe Saunders. They're thinking about facing, just going straight to the Triple G bout. But Triple G doesn't want to do that. His people don't want him to do that, and they're saying that that's not going to happen. That's not possible for them. That next is going to be the mandatory. And Jonathan Banks, Triple G's manager, even said he wanted him to fight one other time in between. But I think it could be negotiated. It could be negotiated for after one fight. But I don't know. I don't know how likely it looks, because I read a DAZN report yesterday. DAZN was saying or something about how DAZN they can't afford for Triple G and Canelo to not happen next. So, I hope that isn't the case. I really hope these two guys can come together. But I do hope Triple G gets a fight in between. I would love for Canelo to get a fight in between too, but at the very worst, Triple G, because I think it builds the fight. I think most people feel Canelo's going to win the third fight, and I want that fight to be sellable. I want people to look at that fight and go, yeah, but Triple G's got a serious shot of pulling off the win, because he looks good in his last fight, not the way he did against Derevyanchenko. But then again, Derevyanchenko's a top-end middleweight. He's proven that now against Danny Jacobs and Triple G, that he's the real deal and he can fight. So, let's run through the top 10 and see what possibly could be next for Triple G, because things are really up in the air right now. And we'll go from there. We start with number 1, Canelo. For some reason, I just don't think Triple G is going to go straight to a Canelo fight. Now, he could. The possibilities are there. Will DAZN put the pressure on Triple G and his people to make that fight next? I'm not sure, because he has a 6-fight contract, and I believe he's only 2 fights into that contract. So I really think that they're going to want him to get everything out of that contract, and I think building up the Canelo fight gets them more money. Now, maybe they're desperate. Maybe they're low on money right now. They're not turning a profit. Maybe that's the case. But I really think they're hurting themselves overall in the big picture with his contract by forcing him into fighting Canelo next. So I'm going to say I don't think he fights Canelo next, but he very well could. He very well could. He could be forced into it. Triple G's number 2. Number 3 is Jermall Charlo. Now, any chance this happens even after a mandatory fight? I guess. I don't see it happening next, but I guess it could happen after, if the Canelo fight falls apart, I guess. But I'm going to lean towards the no. I don't think the PBC and DAZN is going to get together for this one. I'd like them to, but I just don't see it. But definitely could happen. Number 4, rematch with Sergey Derevyanchenko. To be honest, if Derevyanchenko doesn't get the shot at Charlo next, which I think he will, but if he doesn't, and Triple G makes a mandatory and then has to wait till next May to face Canelo possibly, then I think Triple G might say, hey, I want to rematch Derevyanchenko before the Canelo fight. He might not want to take that risk. He might be pushed out of it, but I think it's possible. But I'm going to lean towards the less likely, because I don't think before a Canelo fight they're going to want Triple G to take that kind of risk. So I'm going to say no. Number five is a fight with former champion. Geez, I'm drawing a blank now. Sorry, I was getting a phone call for a second. Number 5 is a fight with Demetrius Andrade. This guy's not on Triple G's radar at all. Even though they're both working with Matchroom right now, this fight's not possible in the next fight or 2 fights, so I'm not seeing it. Number 6, Chris Eubank Jr., not on his radar, not seeing it. Number 7, Ryota Murata, not on his radar, not seeing it in the next 2 fights. Number 8 is, who is it? Rob Brandt, another one, not on his radar, not seeing it. That'd be Top Rank working with Matchroom, doubt it. Number 9, Jaime Munguia. This one's interesting. I think this one is possible. This is Golden Boy working with Matchroom. If they want to build a fight and Triple G is willing to face a guy like Munguia, prior to a Canelo fight, I definitely think this could be one of his next 2 options. And then finally at number 10 is Matt Korobov. I mean, I just don't see it. PBC would have to work with Matchroom on this one, and I don't think they're going to force it. So what do I think Triple G is going to do next? I honestly think he's going to make that mandatory against that unknown fighter who's the number 1 contender in the IBF. He's got another fucked up name, and honestly, I didn't even give him any respect because he has totally not earned the number 1 spot, and he's there anyways, and he's lined up to face Triple G, and I just think it's a joke of a fight. But Triple G is going to lose his title if he doesn't take that fight. So I really think that's going to be his next fight. It's a good tune-up bout for him, even though it's a mandatory title defense. I really think it's going to be that fight. I hope it's going to be that fight, and then I hope it's Canelo in September. But I do think there's a possibility that it could just be Canelo in September. That could be an option. Or I think there's a couple other options. Maybe the mandatory fight happens maybe July or August, maybe even September. They fight on the same card and build a fight in December against each other. At the end of the year, Canelo did that when he kicked off his contract in 2018. He fought in December. He hadn't fought all year, and then he fought in September against Triple G in a rematch. Then he fought in December against Rocky Fielding. He could do that here. That could be the case. Or another option is Canelo fights in September, Triple G fights in July, August, September, in that area. Then they don't fight until next May on Cinco de Mayo, and they go at it with each other 2021 on Cinco de Mayo. Now that's, I think pushing the fight till next year, neither side really wants that. But if Canelo's hell-bent on facing Triple G on one of these big Mexican holidays to bring in more viewers, then it's either September or next May. And, so if he can't get him in September, why not do it in next May? So, who cares if you're waiting around longer, as long as the fight gets made. So, just got to wait and see. But I really do think next he's going to make that mandatory of his IBF title. That's what I'm leaning, and we'll see how it all plays out. So that's the what's next on IBF middleweight champion Triple G Gennady Golovkin. I hope you enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.